Hey guys, Missy Renee here, and welcome to this week's video. I wanted to talk about a couple things that I'm definitely getting asked about a lot, and so I figure it's time to talk about this again. It is a topic that I've talked about before, but it has been a while, so it certainly doesn't hurt to revisit this one because it's one that I get asked a lot, and that is, how long does it take to manifest? No, seriously, how long does it take to manifest? If you are interested, if you are curious to learn more about manifestation and conscious creation in general, definitely stick around and don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit that thumbs up button if you could be a doll. This helps the YouTube algorithm push this video out to a wider audience so that more can get some helpful information on their journey. Quick insert, if you are interested in any of my resources, such as working with me one-on-one, or my workshops, my programs, things of that sort, I have links to all of that down in the description box, so don't forget to check that out if you're interested. So with all that said, how long does it take to manifest? That is a question that I get nearly every day. And it's one that I definitely want to decipher because the short answer is there's no way of discerning. There's no way we could know the exact time. Unfortunately, I cannot tell you it's going to show up in 3 weeks, 2 days, and 16 hours. But what I can say is this: the length of time that it takes between when you begin to imagine and when it comes to pass, or another way to look at it is from when the seed is planted and when those seeds bear fruit, is going to directly depend on the feeling of naturalness. Now, I talk about this one quite a bit. Maybe you've heard this term being used before. I know you've certainly heard it from me. Maybe you've heard it from other channels as well. But what does this mean exactly? Neville even said many times, and many other teachers did too, it's not the length of time that's going to determine when the manifestation comes to pass or when those seeds bear fruit, but it's to the degree in which you are convinced that it's done. It is the degree in which you feel that this is a normal, natural thing that must come to pass in the 3D, that's when it does. And if you think about it, this is why the so-called smaller manifestations, the more insignificant things, if we're testing the law and just, wanting to see a pink balloon or a purple car or whatever it might be, free cup of coffee, this is why it seems like, those things can show up relatively quickly. And yet the things that we really do want, the SP, the money, things that we are very much wanting and desiring, it's why that may seem like it takes longer. Because where it is right now and where we stand initially is that wish fulfilled does not feel natural to us. It doesn't feel like SP and I are back together because clearly we're not. And therefore, we don't believe it. And it is that simple. And when we try to convince ourselves, we're met with resistance because, yet again, we don't believe it. All resistance is, it's when what you desire and what you believe are in conflict. And it's that pushback. It's that feeling of, yeah, right, that's not true. Yeah, that's not true. No, that's not true. It's that little voice in the back of your mind that is reminding you that, oh wait, yeah, the thing that you're affirming right now, or that thing that you were imagining a minute ago, yeah, that's not true. And this is what we mean when we talk about naturalness. It doesn't feel very natural if you're trying to imagine or affirm that your SP loves you when the two of you haven't spoken in months. And that's because we are having a 3D experience. We're conditioned to the 3D. We live in this 3D world. We interact with the 3D world, and thus we're very much swayed by what's happening on the outside, which is the exact opposite of what the law teaches and what we actually should be focusing on. What we should be focusing on is internal. It's the beliefs and assumptions that we carry. It's the inner convictions. It's the inner conversations. It's what we're imagining. It's what we are occupying in our mind in our day-to-day. Because it's those things that are going to determine the state of consciousness or the reality that you wind up experiencing. It's what's going to determine your circumstances and your interactions with other people. So the difficulty becomes that what we are trying to do does not feel natural to us. Many times we're trying to force it. We're trying to force ourselves to feel this reality. And a lot of times we're trying to force emotions. We're trying to force the feelings of seeing our SP in our mind's eye, or we're trying to affirm millions and millions of times a day. None of these things are going to feel natural. There's not, because we're not used to doing them. What does feel natural is what's happening on the outside, the circumstances. Those are the things that are going to feel true to you. The beliefs and assumptions that you carry, that's going to feel natural to you. Whatever the old story is, that's going to feel natural to you. So when you're trying to affirm that SP loves you and only you, but you saw on Facebook the other day that they're with a third party, yeah, it's not going to feel very natural. The entire point of conscious creation, what we are trying to do here is use the creative power that we have, and that is imagination. We want to utilize imagination to construct a world that is the life that we want. It is there to help us experience the thing that we would like to experience in the 3D. Because in imagination, there are no limitations. There are no circumstances that are beyond your control. You can imagine anything. You can go anywhere and do anything in your imagination. And we're doing this all the time, every day anyways. So how long is it going to take to manifest? It entirely depends on the feeling of naturalness. And this is why ultimately the aim should be just that. That's how you know it's been impressed. When something's been impressed subconsciously, there's no longer resistance to it. There's no longer inner battling over it. That's what we mean by the feeling of naturalness. It just feels normal. It feels like an everyday part of your life. It feels like a done deal. It feels like a given. It's like, yeah, of course this is true. This is an everyday part of my experience. That's the feeling of naturalness. So if we want to hurry up and speed up our manifestation, so to speak, we want to find the path of least resistance when imagining that desired outcome. Because the more that you experience what you desire in imagination, the more you acclimate to that feeling. And what was once a feeling of resistance and feeling like it's very fake or it's not true becomes feeling completely normal. So how do we go about doing this? There's multiple ways. But this is what the techniques are there for. The techniques are there to aid us in getting to that natural feeling, getting to a place that resonates with us, helping us live as that person. Live as that version of us who has the amazing business, who has a loving, committed relationship from SP, who has everything in the world that she wants, or he, everything in the world that he wants. That is the aim. That's what we aspire to do, what we should be aspiring to achieve with this. This is not about keeping your focus and fixation on trying to manifest SP back and trying to force yourself to feel elation and feel all these emotions. It's not what this is about. This is about using the creative power that is your imagination to begin to feel what it would be like if you were now experiencing that, whatever it is that you desire. And the more that you do this, the more it's going to stay with you. The more you're going to start to naturally become that person that you've been imagining. Every single person who's successful, every single one of them, will tell you that long before they got successful, they were successful up here first. It didn't matter what was going on out there. It didn't matter if they were homeless or living in their truck or barely scraping by. Up here, they were already a millionaire. Think of it as your own little world, because that's what it is. You can go there anytime and you can go and do anything. And the more that you spend time on what you do want, the more that you are focusing on living in imagination as the version of you that you desire to be, you're going to find that the 3D emulates that. It will replicate that. You're going to notice a shift in how you feel in your day-to-day. You're going to notice a change from within. And from that, a change from without. But we must focus making it feel as natural as possible. We need to stop trying to force this, because at the end of the day, this is not about what kind of affirmations you're using, the exact phrase, or what words to use. This isn't about how many times to affirm. This isn't about how many times to loop your scene. Those are not going to get you any closer to what you desire. This is about finding what resonates with you. When you imagine that desired outcome, what does that look like? What does that feel like? What does that entail? Describe it to yourself. Pick up on those tones. Pick up on those descriptions and let yourself play with them. Let yourself play in imagination. Let yourself be that version of you, experiencing your desire. Because once you do that, once you go within and you get acclimated to that desired outcome in imagination, once you become in imagination the person that you want to be, watch how fast that thing manifests. Because that is exactly how you manifest anything that you want. So anyways, guys, I hope you found this video helpful. I hope you found it informative. If you enjoyed it, do not forget to give it a thumbs up. Also, if you're interested in checking out any of my other resources, such as one-on-one coaching, my blog, my social channels, my podcast, I got a ton of good, helpful stuff down there, so don't forget to check all that out in the description box. Also, do not forget to check out the other videos on this channel. Each video goes into different topics, different aspects, but they all pertain in how to manifest the best life possible. So until next time, all of you beautiful people, please take care, please remember to be well, and never forget how powerful how powerful you truly are. Much love and happy manifesting, guys.